Hi, my name is Caitlin. Welcome back to my channel. We're back. Another Yellowjackets video. Surprise, surprise. Today, we're going to be talking about the mythical bonus episode of season 2, everything we know about it, and whether we'll get it in the near future. But before we get into that, something huge that happened in between this video and the last video I uploaded is that it was announced that Yellowjackets season 4 is going to be the last season of the show. I've shared my thoughts on Twitter. I've shared my thoughts on TikTok, but just for the people who are here on YouTube, my thought process is Yellowjackets ends is better than a Yellowjackets canceled announcement. I think with a show like Yellowjackets, where the mystery is such a central part to the show, the writers being able to write an end to the show the way that they want is essential, especially in the TV landscape right now and what's going on with Paramount. Who knows what would happen in 2 years after a season 4 and if they would have gotten a season 5. So I would rather the show end on the writer's terms than it ends on a cliffhanger and we never really get to know what happened and the story is open-ended. Selfishly, I will always want more of Yellowjackets, of these characters. I love them so much, and it is sad that it's going to end, but I like the idea of the writers and the cast and everybody having closure on the story. So yeah, it's bittersweet that the show is coming to an end. I definitely didn't expect it. I remember getting the announcement on my phone and I got the Twitter notification and it said, after 3 great seasons, we've made the decision. And that was kind of like the little blurb. And I was very confused because I was like, well, they announced it was renewed. So like no way that they like unrenewed the show and just canceled it. So I opened it and I was like, oh, it's ending. I think a lot of people have that idea of the 5-season plan, right? That the writers spoke about like 5 years ago now almost. And it's like plans change. The writers have always said that they will listen to the story, and when the story tells them to stop, they will, and they won't milk it. And I think that's something very admirable. At this point, it's just like we're gonna see how it concludes and we're going to see where it goes. And I think that's the best part, is that knowing that we are reaching an end and the story will be over and the story will be concluded on their terms. Everything else that, we may want to see, obviously, like 10 episode seasons suck nowadays, and everything that we want to see won't come to fruition. I was one of the biggest proponents of a full post-rescue season, and obviously we're not going to get that because they're going to get rescued probably halfway through the season and then the rest is whatever. But that's what fan fiction's for. There's so many other avenues that we can explore for that. So that's my piece on that. I'm going to break this video into 2 parts. The first part is going to be a timeline of events of everything that we know about the bonus episode, all the updates that we've gotten over the years. And it has been years. Next spring will be 3 years since the bonus episode should have aired. And then after the timeline, I'm going to be talking about everything we know about the bonus episode specifically, whether that's script details, what cast have said, just theories on what the bonus episode could be about. So this whole debacle starts on December 20th, 2022, when Jason Ritter is cast in a guest star role for Yellowjackets season 2. If you don't know, Jason Ritter is the real life husband of Melanie Lynskey, who plays adult Shauna. They are probably one of the nicest couples in Hollywood. I met Jason at the premiere. I met Melanie at the premiere. They are as nice as everybody seems. I love them so much. You may also know Jason as Dipper Pines from Gravity Falls, and he's currently in Matlock with Kathy Bates. That casting announcement comes out. Everyone's like, oh my God, who could he be playing? Fast forward to May 28th, 2023, which is the season finale of Yellowjackets season 2, and only 9 episodes have come out, and Jason Ritter is nowhere to be found. He has not appeared in this guest star role. Season 2 was meant to have 10 episodes. The first season had 10 episodes, and then also you see behind the scenes pictures of Yellowjackets season 2 when they're filming the finale, and the slate says 210, meaning there were 10 episodes, right? So everyone's like, why are we 1 episode short? Where is the bonus episode? I think like within fandoms, the concept of a bonus episode or like a missing episode is one of those things where people kind of just like make up because either they're like not satisfied with how the season ended, so they like delude themselves into thinking that there's an extra episode that's going to fix everything that just happened. So everyone's like, where's the bonus episode? Where's the bonus episode? While the season was airing, they took a week-long break in between airing episodes 5 and 6 of season 2. People think that was kind of a time where they were trying to figure out whether they were going to release this bonus episode. And so they took that week-long break, and ultimately this season still ended on the date that it would have if they released the bonus episode, if that makes sense. So like technically the season ran for 10 weeks, but only 9 episodes premiered because of the little hiatus they took. Yellowjackets fans are like, where is this extra episode? We only have 9. We need 10. Like, why are you gatekeeping this? And so they are tweeting at Ashley Lyle, one of the showrunners of Yellowjackets. They are asking her, like, where is the bonus episode? Like, I'm going to stay up and hope that something's going to come out on the next Friday. And she replies to someone on June 1st of 2023. Happy Pride Month. She confirms the existence of a bonus episode and says that it'll release between seasons and not to wait up for a, random midnight release. Now, the thing is, during the hiatus between seasons 2 and 3, there is the Writers Guild strike from May to September of 2023. And so that throws a wrench in a lot of plans, just across the industry and specifically with Yellowjackets. Technically, like, the episode was done, but because of the strike, they couldn't work on anything. The strike is very important in the story of all this, and it will come back later. During the airing of the season and subsequently after, when people are like, where was Jason Ritter? Someone found behind the scenes photos of Jason Ritter on the set of Yellowjackets, right? And this is going to be important later on, like when we talk about what the episode could be about. Long story short, there was a baby on set with Jason, and the Instagram account of the baby actors posted these photos of Jason and the baby, and they were like, Yellowjackets is airing, can't wait for these baby actors to appear on the show. And of course, the baby actors didn't appear because Jason didn't appear, and they are in the bonus episode. Fast forward a year later, November 29th, 2024, something comes out from TV Line Insider. Someone says that the bonus episode is a dead thought and that Paramount has no updates on the episode. Not to say that they like completely axed it, but also like nobody knows what is happening with it. This is the beginning also of the rollout for season 3. They've wrapped filming. They're going to start promotion really soon. So a couple days later, Entertainment Weekly interviews Ashley Lyle and some of the showrunners, and Ashley says we'll have to wait a bit longer for the bonus episode. So that's our next update, December of 2024. And mind you, season 3 of Yellowjackets will air on Valentine's Day of 2025. So people were hoping that what Ashley had said back in June of the previous year, that the episode would air between seasons, but now that season 3 is coming up, it doesn't seem likely that this episode will happen between that hiatus. So then season 3 premieres on Valentine's Day, February 14th. A video from the premiere carpet of season 3. Ashley says that the writer strike threw a wrench in the plans of releasing the bonus episode. So they had intended on releasing it between the hiatus, which is what she said back in June of 2023. But because of the writer strike and how long that took, things just got messy. And it's not just up to the showrunners, it's also up to the network, and it's up to so many people. Like, even though it is a Yellowjackets episode, it's up to so many people to decide when that gets released, even though the episode is done, right? Because they filmed it concurrently with the season. They had intended it to air during the season, and then they held it back and then continued to hold it back until it's stuck on a drive somewhere. But she also confirms, and kind of to the relief of some fans, that it is a standalone episode and that it can get released at any time. And so I think that's the beauty of it as well, is that just because they didn't release it during the season, and just because they didn't release it between seasons, doesn't necessarily mean we can't see it, because it's a standalone and it'll make sense with whatever has been released and like will come out. It won't retcon anything. It won't mess up any continuity. That's a plus. So then the entirety of season 3 airs. So now we're in April of 2025, and Variety interviews the showrunners just about the whole season. And then of course they ask about the bonus episode, and Ashley says, quote, they are hopeful that people will see it. So again, they still have intent to release it, but they just have no idea when or how. You kind of have to give an open-ended answer of just like, yeah, we hope, but like we have no, not control, but we have no idea of when. At least it's not like you'll never see it. So the most recent update we got came in June of 2025. So this is 2 years after Ashley had confirmed the existence of the bonus episode. We have Melanie Lynskey talking about how her husband's episode is, quote, lost to time. And then she also says that it was a standalone episode. And I think the phrasing lost to time doesn't necessarily mean we'll never see it in terms of like literally lost, but just in the sense that like she has no clue what happened to it. And like there's no release date in sight. So she's just saying it's like lost in the ether for now. Melanie even said it at the premiere that she has no control over like whether we get to see that episode. So it has been 3 years since they filmed that episode. So to her, it's lost to time because like why hasn't anyone seen it? So that's kind of the almost 3-year saga of the bonus episode and all the updates that we've gotten so far. The good things is that it exists and they have an intent to release it. And whether that'll happen now between seasons 3 and 4, maybe like a post-mortem season 4 release, I don't know. It would be a shame if we never got to see it because of what it's about, which I'm going to get to next. And then also like just the idea of with a show like Yellowjackets, every minute counts. And so to have an episode that's say 50 minutes to an hour of runtime that could have been used to further along some other storylines, that would be a shame if we just like lost that time. So now that we've established that timeline of events, let's talk about what the bonus episode is actually about, or what it's rumored about. But like really, that's what it's about. Obviously, we have no confirmation of who Jason Ritter was cast as, what role he was playing, but with all the context clues of everything that has come out about this bonus episode, it's pretty much confirmed that this is a cabin guy backstory episode, and Jason Ritter plays the cabin guy. If you don't know who cabin guy is, I'm referring to the guy whose cabin that the Yellowjackets stumble upon in episode 3 in the wilderness. When they raid the cabin the first time, they say that he's a doomsday prepper. He has like a lot of ammunition. His body is found in the attic. You know, his skeleton is right next to the symbol on the floor. His plane is in the wilderness. That's the one that's like strung up by the vines, and someone says, I think it's Lottie, says that it didn't want him to leave. And then Jackie sees him in her death dream where she drinks the hot chocolate, she looks up and she kind of looks around, and then in kind of that hallway doorway, there is a man in a flannel that says, we've been waiting for you. So that's cabin guy. And so people think that Jason Ritter is playing cabin guy. And one of my favorite jokes about this bonus episode is that people say that Jason Ritter did such a bad French accent playing cabin guy that that's why they don't want to release the episode. And that comes from when they did the seance in episode 5 of season 1. Lottie gets possessed by the French ghost. They also call him Jacques. And so people think that the cabin guy was French. And then they're also in like the Canadian wilderness. So maybe he is French. I don't know. There are so many questions about cabin guy, right? What was he doing out there? How did he get out there? You know, how did he die? And this standalone backstory episode makes sense to have. And like, what does he have to do with the symbol? Is what's happening to the Yellowjackets, did that happen to him? Was he connected to the wilderness in some way? It seems like he's in the wilderness limbo since Jackie saw him while she was dying. Again, lots of questions. And bringing back what I mentioned before about the behind the scenes photos with the baby. What is he doing with a baby out there? Like, that's crazy. Also, more reason to believe that Jason was playing cabin guy. In those behind the scenes photos, he's wearing this plaid coat that we see numerous characters wearing throughout the show. Travis, Natalie, Lottie, Melissa, they all wear that coat in the wilderness. Presumably they got that from the cabin and then it was his. Something we do know is that none of the like principal cast of Yellowjackets are in that episode. Nobody from the adult cast, nobody from the teen cast. Though they have read the script for it, and a couple of the actors have said how good the episode is. Courtney Eaton, who plays Teen Lottie, said that it's very different from a typical Yellowjackets episode, but it's good. And then Tawny Cypress, who plays adult Thaisa, said that it was one of her favorite episodes of the show, which is so interesting because of how different it is. So getting back to this baby. So if you didn't know, you can go on the WGA's website, which is Writers Guild of America. And when you go on the website and navigate towards Yellowjackets, the show, you can see all of the episodes that are registered under Yellowjackets. So you'll see all 3 seasons. And for season 1, you will see different titles than what they were finalized as. Those were kind of production titles. But for seasons 2 and 3, you can see the final titles. When you look at season 2, 10 episodes are registered, and there's only one that we have never heard of before. And it's episode 207, called Mother Nature. So in the way that it was registered, that means the bonus episode was supposed to air directly after Shauna's birth episode 206, Key. And keep that episode title in your mind, Mother Nature. That's going to be important in like 2 seconds. When I interviewed Samantha Hanratty for season 3, we were talking about cut scenes from the show. And she was talking about how some scenes were cut because they alluded to other scenes that we didn't see, so it made no sense to have those scenes included in season 2. I like couldn't understand what she was saying. Like, she wasn't outwardly saying it, but she was, you know, like talking around it. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she goes, well, just ask Jason Ritter. And then I was like, oh, so she's talking about the bonus episode. That makes sense, because if They wrote the scripts in accordance to the bonus episode being released after episode 6. And then say we have episodes 7, 8, 9, which were 8, 9, 10. It would make sense that they were references to that episode, the bonus episode. And we can confirm this because during the Emmy campaign for season 2, they released one of the scripts. And it was a script for the episode called Burial, which ended up being 207. But really in production, it was 208, which is the episode after what the bonus episode would have been. And there's a cut van scene where she comes across a page from, quote, the wife's manuscript. And it reads, "Though I still miss my baby desperately, I am beginning to accept a greater wisdom than my own. I think it lives here, in the wilderness. It is the wilderness. And there is comfort in the fact that none of this was ever up to me at all." Ah, that kind of gave me chills. The wife referring to Cabin Guy's wife, perhaps, because if she's cleaning up around the cabin, those would be Cabin Guy's old possessions. And that also explains the whole baby thing, right? Like, why is Jason Ritter holding a baby in the middle of the woods? She says, "Though I still miss my baby desperately," meaning the baby dies in the wilderness. Those last two lines also bring up this concept of, is the wilderness all of the loss that has been experienced? Is the wilderness trauma? There's a lot of questions about what the wilderness can be, and I think this little snippet gives us a look into it. I think it lives here in the wilderness. What is it? It is the wilderness, and there is comfort in the fact that none of this was ever up to me at all, meaning, is there something supernatural happening, or is that just her trying to explain things away? It's also interesting that the bonus episode was supposed to air directly after Shauna loses her baby. So now we have Shauna Shipman experiencing this loss in the wilderness in 1996. Oh, technically 1997, I think. And then we have an origin story for the cabin guy and a baby that is presumably killed in the wilderness. And those things were going to parallel each other. And it makes sense that these things were going to parallel each other if they were going to air back to back. And also you have that episode title, Mother Nature. Quite literally, Mother Nature being the wilderness, the environment, but also mother, like... but also like mother as in like mother of a child, and that child being Cabin Guy's child and his wife losing the kid out there. Shauna loses her baby. Motherhood is not for the weak in the wilderness. Doesn't really go well. So that's everything we know about the bonus episode and everything that people have been able to piece together over the years of waiting for the bonus episode and little things that have come out about it. I can't really understand why they wouldn't air it. It can't be because it was too revealing or that, they gave away a mystery too soon, I feel, because they wrote it with the intention of it airing with the season. Whatever they wrote in it, they were comfortable with revealing, and they being the writers. It only seems to add to what we know about the wilderness. It seems the showrunners really wanted us to see it, so maybe it's just the network that is holding it back. And like they've said, it's a standalone episode. It won't retcon anything that we've seen. And I would think that the way that they're writing future episodes of the show, that episode is canon already. Do you know what I mean? So like, hopefully nothing that they write in future seasons will retcon whatever happens in that bonus episode. Like I said, the bonus episode was written, filmed during season 2, and it's presumably done. Like, I'm sure it's edited. So it's just a matter of like, will we ever see it and when? And I hope the answer is yes and soon, especially with the news that season 4 is going to be the last season. You hope that like they'll find some way to release it before season 4 starts, kind of like as a teaser to get people excited again for Yellowjackets, because we're gonna have to wait probably like a year and a half. If it is a Cabin Guy episode, I'm thinking like, I always thought a winter release would be fun, maybe around Christmas. I don't even know how they would handle that, like as an event. Do you know what I mean? Like where would they even tack that on, I guess, like in terms of I guess it would just be like a special. When you go on Paramount to watch a show, it's like Yellowjackets season 1, season 2, season 3. Like they can't just tack on the bonus episode at the end of season 2. Maybe they'll put it in the mid. Like, could they put it in the middle? But then that ruins how everyone talks about the show when they're like, okay, yeah, 209, which was the finale. But if you put the bonus episode where it was supposed to be, that's really the penultimate episode where Javi dies and it chooses. So yeah, I guess it could be like a special thing. All that to say, I hope we get to see it. I'm sure Jason Ritter is amazing in it, and I'm like so curious, especially if it's hypothetically a whole 50 minutes of just Cabin Guy. And honestly, perhaps, maybe it does clue in the fact that like you need to clean the chimneys of the cabin, and that's kind of why it caught on fire. But then I'm thinking about how Steven Kruger said that he recorded some scenes for the finale that kind of make it look like Ben burned the cabin down. So maybe that was never the intention for it to be an accident. I don't know. So yeah, that's everything I have for you today. A little bit of a shorter video. It's not one of my normal analysis videos, but still Yellowjackets themed. I kind of wanted to compile. I've made so many videos about the bonus episode. I think I've made around 3 or 4 videos about it on TikTok, because every time we got new information, I would just like regurgitate the same stuff that we knew and then just tack on this extra detail. But I like that I have it all now in one place, and hopefully whenever someone wants to know what's up with the bonus episode, they'll come here where all the information that we have is laid out in front of you sequentially and all in one place. Again, I have so many Yellowjackets videos planned that I just need to get to eventually. But this was fun as we wait for season 4 and any news for that. And like I said in the beginning, I'm very excited for season 4. I'm already making theories with them knowing that this is the last season and this is it. They're going to go all out. And I'm truly very excited. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. Get some sleep, stream Yellowjackets, and I'll see you in the next one.